He was too gentle for the herd, so they gave him away. What he did next broke us. We got the call about a bull who kept getting pushed away, not because he was aggressive or violent, but simply because no one wanted him. And even after doing this work for so long, those are the ones that stay with you the most. Beimma was supposed to live a completely different life, one where he and his brother Dharma would spend their days pulling plows in an urban garden in Michigan, working without choice, without pause, just existing as labor. But when that plan fell apart and the permit didn't go through, they suddenly needed somewhere to go, and that's how they found their way to us. The first time I saw him, I didn't move. I just stood there trying to process how something that big could feel so gentle at the same time, because while his body was massive, over 2,500 pounds, his eyes told a completely different story, soft and uncertain, like he was the one trying to figure out if we were safe. Not long after they arrived, we lost Dharma to pneumonia, and it happened so quickly that it barely felt real. One day he was there, and the next he wasn't, and Beimma changed after that. Not in a loud or obvious way, but in the quiet way he carried himself, standing alone more often, not calling out, not searching, just waiting. Like a part of him was still expecting his brother to come back. Around that same time, we had to remove his horns because they had become badly infected, and when the vets took them off, it wasn't just relief you could see physically.
Boop.
It was something inside him finally let go, like he had been holding on to discomfort for so long that he didn't even know what it felt like to be okay anymore.
Beimma is so handsome. Yes, he is. Handsome Beimma.
But even after all that, the hardest part wasn't his health. It was the fact that he didn't fit in anywhere. Because cows are deeply social animals, they build bonds and families, and for reasons we'll never fully understand, Beimma just wasn't accepted by the herd. There was no fighting, no chaos, just distance, like he existed just outside of where he was supposed to belong. So we tried something different and introduced him to the goats, the sheep, and a few ponies. And without any pressure or expectation, something shifted, because for the first time, he wasn't being compared or pushed away. He was just there, and that's when his real personality started to show. Beimma doesn't rush toward people the way you'd expect from an animal his size. Instead, he walks up slowly, directly, and then just stands there, waiting, like he's asking permission in the gentlest way
Tell
possible.
your secret? Tell you.
And the moment you reach out, he leans into you completely. Like he's been waiting for that exact connection all along. And if you scratch his belly, he'll lower himself all the way down beside you, choosing to make himself small despite everything about him being so big, trusting you enough to lie there, breathing slowly, letting out that soft, rumbling sound that feels almost like a purr. Sometimes people get scared when they see him moving toward them, thinking he's charging. But the truth is, he's just trying to get closer, trying to be near someone, trying to feel that contact he seems to crave so deeply. And even now, he barely runs. I've only seen it a couple of times, and he almost never makes a sound. So the first time I heard him vocalize, it felt like hearing something incredibly rare, like a part of him finally finding its way out. Even though the herd never fully accepted him, there are still a few cows who come up to the fence every day, standing there with him, sharing
You want
those
some
quiet
green beans?
moments that look
Here.
simple from the
You eat
outside
'em
but
off his
mean
back.
everything when you understand what he's been through, and somehow that seems to be enough for him.
Boop. I love you.
What
You're
stays
so
with me the
handsome.
most isn't just how kind he is, but that he still chooses to be that way after everything, after losing his brother, after being pushed aside, after never really having a place where he fully fit in. He still walks up to people with that same softness, that same openness, like none of it hardened him, like none of it made him close off. And I think that's the part that really humbles you, because animals like Beimma remind you that being different doesn't mean you don't deserve connection, and being rejected
Of
doesn't
knowing
mean
no
you
one
don't have
wants
love to
anything from
give.
you but your
Sometimes it
truth.
just means you haven't found where you're meant to be yet. And honestly, I think that's something a lot of us understand more than we'd like to admit. So if this story stayed with you even for a moment, I'd really love to know what part you felt the most. And if you want to keep following stories like this, the quiet ones that don't need to shout to be heard, just stay with us, because there's so much more we haven't told yet.
Helen.
19 years in the dark, and the first thing she did when she felt safe was try to hug someone. She didn't know how to hug, so she just used her whole body. And the first time Helen walked up to us like that, it honestly caught us off guard, because she didn't hesitate. She just leaned in, pressing her head against us, rubbing slowly, like she was trying to get as close as possible. And in that moment, you could feel it. That was her way of saying she finally felt safe. Helen is 19 years old, and she was born blind. And for her entire life, she lived on a dairy farm, not out in open fields like you'd imagine, but inside a stall, without other cows, without space, without ever really knowing what the world felt like beyond those walls. And even though the farmer cared about her in his own way and couldn't bring himself to send her to slaughter when she stopped producing milk, her world still stayed small for a very long time, until somehow she found her way to us. When Helen first arrived, she didn't move much. She just stood there, listening, taking in every little sound, every shift in the air, because for her, that was how she understood the world. And it wasn't fear in the usual sense, it was more like uncertainty. Like she didn't quite know yet if this place was real or if it would disappear like everything else she had never had. So we slowed everything down. We spoke gently every time we came near her. We gave her a small space of her own, a place she could return to over and over until it started to feel familiar. And then we added small things, nothing big, just little details that would make her life easier. Like a water fountain so she could hear where to drink, wind chimes around the pasture so she could follow the sound back home, and a brush she could lean against whenever she needed comfort. And somehow, all those little things started to build something bigger: trust. And then one day, without warning,
Helen,
something shifted. My partner was out in the pasture doing chores like any normal day, and Helen slowly walked up to him, paused for just a second, and then leaned in completely, not carefully, not halfway, but fully, pressing her entire body against him, rubbing her head and neck like she couldn't get close enough. And that was the moment we realized she wasn't just adjusting anymore, she was choosing us. She was choosing connection. And from that point on, everything about her began to change. She started moving more, exploring more, deciding where she wanted to stand and who she wanted to be near. And what she wanted most, more than anything, was to be close. Helen is unbelievably gentle. The kind of gentle that you don't really expect until you experience it. She licks everyone, other cows, people, anyone within reach. And if you stand near her long enough, she will find you. Not in a demanding way, but in a quiet, steady way that feels real, like she's simply sharing what she has.
All right, give me my kiss.
And now, instead of standing still in a small space, she spends her days out in the pasture, grazing, resting, just existing in a way she never got to before. But what she seems to love the most isn't even the space, it's the sound. She loves standing under the wind chimes, just listening to them move with the wind, holding still like she's taking it all in. And when we play music, she notices that too, especially her favorite song, the Hawaiian version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And every time it plays, there's this quiet calm about her, like she's exactly where she's meant to be.
Helen.
And I think that's the part that stays with me the most, because after 19 years of living without freedom, without connection, without ever really being seen, she still chose to love, she still chose to trust, without hesitation, without holding anything back. And it makes you wonder how something that has every reason to close off can stay so open, so soft, so willing to connect.
Hi, Helen. Hi. How are you today?
And maybe that's what healing actually looks like. Not loud, not dramatic, but slow, quiet, built in small moments of kindness that don't disappear. And if Helen's story made you feel something, I'd really want to know what part stayed with you. And if you want to keep following her journey, just stay a little longer, because there are more stories like this, the quiet kind, the real kind, the ones that remind you what love actually looks like. She was covered in scars, too weak to stand, and yet somehow she still chose to trust us. She didn't move when we got close, not even a little. She just lay there like the world had already taken everything from her. Her body was covered in scars, her tail was broken, and there was something in her eyes I can't quite explain, because it wasn't just fear. It was what happens when someone has been hurt for so long that they forget what safe even feels like. We got the call early that morning about a cow who couldn't stand, severely neglected, and like always, we didn't hesitate. But I'll be honest, when we saw her for the first time, a part of me thought we might already be too late. And still, somehow, there was this quiet spark in her eyes. Not anger, not panic, just something small but stubborn, like she was saying she was still here if we were. Transporting her was incredibly hard because every movement caused her pain, and every small decision felt like it could make things worse. I remember kneeling beside her, placing my hand gently on her neck, and whispering that she was safe now, that no one was going to hurt her anymore. And she looked straight at me in a way that felt like she understood. But at the same time, there was doubt, like she wanted to believe it, but didn't know how to trust again. The first few days were quiet in a way that felt heavy. We stayed with her day and night, taking turns sleeping, just hoping she would make it through each day. And when we tried to feed her, she turned her head away, refusing to take food from our hands. And honestly, I didn't blame her, because those same hands probably looked just like the ones that had hurt her before. But healing never happens all at once. It shows up in small, almost invisible ways. One day she didn't turn away as quickly. The next she let the food come a little closer. And then one morning I held out my hand and she paused for just a second before slowly taking it. I remember smiling and softly telling her that she was okay, that we had her now. And even though it didn't look like much, that moment meant everything to us, because that was trust beginning to rebuild, piece by piece. Weeks passed and her body slowly started responding, her strength coming back little by little, and after 1 month she stood up. And none of us said anything at first, we just watched. Because sometimes miracles happen so quietly you don't even realize they're happening until they already have. We named her Gaia, and she changed something in all of us. Not just because she survived, but because of the way she chose to survive. She stayed gentle, she stayed open, and after everything she had been through, she still chose kindness, which is something I don't think people understand unless they've seen it with their own eyes. A couple months later, she started walking, then walking longer distances, and one day she was just standing out in the field with the sunlight on her face, looking calm, like she finally believed that this life was hers now. People often ask what the hardest part of this work is, and it's not the injuries or the exhaustion. It's seeing what they've been through and wondering if they'll ever trust again. But Gaia answered that question in her own way, because her greatest recovery wasn't learning how to stand. It was choosing not to close her heart. I remember standing next to her one evening, resting my hand against her and quietly telling her that she didn't just survive, she taught us how to keep going. And I meant every word of that. What Gaia showed us, and what so many rescued animals show us, is that healing isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about deciding that it doesn't get to take everything from you. And every time she walks toward us now or leans into our hands, I think about the version of her that couldn't even lift her head. And I realize that love didn't erase her past, but it gave her a future bigger than it. And if this story made you feel something, even just a little, I hope you hold on to that, because there are still so many animals out there waiting for someone to show up for them. I'd really love to know what you think. Would you have believed in her on that first day, or would you have walked away? And if you want to see where Gaia's story goes next, stay with us, because sometimes the quietest stories are the ones that stay with you the longest.